All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Money Talks. I'm your host, Bill Barhydt. As always, we've got a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. Let's see. So we've got a brand new app interface for you at Abra. I'm going to go over that. I'm really excited about it. Hopefully, you've all downloaded it already and seen it. I'm going to talk about some of the logic as to what's going on there, and of course, answer any questions you have about it. And we've already got some questions teed up. We've got our contest winner for the week. Really cool. A couple of things. This is going to be the last live show, most likely, for this calendar year. We'll get back to something with a new format in January we're working on. I'm probably going to do some recorded videos, maybe over the holidays or in between, to keep everyone up to speed on what's going on at Abra. And if there's any lingering kind of questions out there, I'd be happy to answer them. The biggest challenge, of course, is just the live Friday morning Pacific. And so, yeah, we will get back to this in Q1. But like I said, more videos coming. So keep coming back to our YouTube channel. Press that subscribe button. Hey, I want to talk about one thing before we get into the cool stuff at Abra. I'm seeing a lot of talk online about crypto scams, right? Crypto price is going up again. Everybody's excited. That's great. Everybody's making money. I couldn't be happier for everyone. You got to be careful, okay? If somebody's asking you to send them money or crypto and you don't know them, it's too good to be true, I promise you, okay? Please don't send cryptocurrency to anyone you know. The money is gone forever. It's as simple as that, all right? Once you send crypto outside of Abra, you can't send a ticket to Abra support to ask for help because it's gone. So please be smart, okay? This is a new way of looking at money. It's liberating, but you have to understand that this is money that you're holding in your hands, and if you hand it to someone else, it's gone. So please be wary of the scams. Unfortunately, not everyone is as, honest as we want them to be, but if you're just a little bit careful, you'll be fine. Okay? All right. More exciting things. So I was really excited that I got to do a panel discussion at the Stellar Meridian conference this week. Stellar is, as you probably know, one of Abra's latest and newest investors, and really enjoyed the talk and the panel discussion. And I got to do this with a couple of other players in the space, one of our competitors who I really respect a lot. One of the questions came up about what sets Abra apart versus the competition. And they didn't give me a lot of time to answer. And I did provide an answer. And what I want to do for a few minutes is and we don't talk a lot about this, we just really stand on our capabilities and our team. And I think it's important that I take a step back and give you just a couple of minutes of my perspective of what makes Abra so great and what sets us apart as a company. And I'd love you to ask questions about any of this, really. Anything is fair game, right? So ultimately, I think there's no other company in the world like Abra. We stand for financial freedom, liberty, and transparency. When was the last time you heard a bank say they stand for transparency? But we'd like to share what we believe truly makes us different and why you should care about that. But the bottom line is that our team, incredible service, incredible investor base, our global footprint, our risk management systems, even our privacy policy are unmatched in the crypto industry. So let me talk about our team for a second. Our team brings a very unique set of experiences in running large-scale consumer services, lending businesses, money service businesses. I used to run a remittance company. I spent a lot of time in Haiti, in Mexico, in the Philippines, Central America, places where we have lots of Abra users today, but also in the US, right? And I lived in Europe for 6 years. We have people, I think, from 15 different countries working at Abra now. Okay? We've managed services for tens of millions of users across over 100 countries. In addition, we have some fantastic financial backers. We're backed by some of the largest companies and investors in the world, including Fortune 500 companies. Our investors include American Express, Foxconn, the maker of the iPhone, Arbor Ventures, which is mostly backed by Fidelity, which is one of the largest brokerages in the world. And you may know that Abby Johnson, the CEO of Fidelity, who I'm a huge fan of, is a big fan of cryptocurrencies. RRE Ventures, which is one of the largest venture funds in New York City, First Round Capital, one of the most successful angel funds in history, having backed Snapchat, Lime, Kayak, WAG, Hotel Tonight, Roblox, and God knows how many more, right? Most recently, of course, the Stellar Development Foundation also invested in Abra. So if we've raised over $40 million in financing across all of these great partners, and we take pride in taking great care with our investor money. So in addition to our investors, we've put together an advisory board and board of directors, including some of the smartest investors and industry experts in the world. Right? As I mentioned before, we have a global footprint. We're based in the US, but we support users in over 150 countries with a distributed team of employees. So today we operate three distinct services, and all three are global. We have the Abra trading account, the Abra interest account, and the crypto marketplace. Each service is operated by Abra in concert with highly regulated financial institutions, including crypto exchanges, custodians, banks, payment processors, and more. Right. Most recently, our Abra crypto marketplace is now expanding rapidly and supports payment methods in dozens of countries, with more being added all the time. This is one of our fastest growing services, and we're fully committed to 100% global coverage for customers to buy cryptocurrencies anywhere where the law allows us to provide that service. We are fully compliant with money service business, AML, US banking regulations as they relate to our business. And this is a moving target. The regulations change all the time. We stay up to speed, our lawyers stay up to speed on what these regulations are, and you'll see changes to the business as we go to respond to the latest and greatest from our regulatory partners. Abra is not a bank, but we take a conservative tack to regulation, as you deserve a business partner who has your best interests at heart. And you can always review our terms of service online or directly via the app. Let me talk about risk management for a second. Many of you, our Abra interest account deposits are booming, okay? But we're building Abra for tomorrow, not just for today. I spend most of my time thinking about where Abra is going, planning for the future. What's going to happen in the Abra app 18 months from now? But in the meantime, we have to manage for today. We've never suffered lending losses at Abra. Protection of your trading and interest and earning principal is our first priority. We run an investment committee that reviews counterparties for suitability with Abra, and we don't overlend to any single counterparty. This is a concern that I have about the broader crypto lending space, and Abra has taken great care not to do this. Due diligence includes reviewing the financial statements of all counterparties, right, as well as understanding how they intend to utilize the funds and determining the appropriate levels of crypto collateral on a case-by-case basis. We always maintain reserves in both the trading service and the interest accounts to make your withdrawals quick and easy. So you may have noticed, if you use our the Abra interest account, that by and large, even though the terms of service say 7-day withdrawal time, generally you have access to the funds same day or even in a couple of hours. Okay. Lastly, let me talk about privacy. Right, there's been a lot of talk about this with the elections going on in the U.S. and Facebook and Twitter and the president's tweets constantly. And so let me just talk about privacy for a second. We are committed to protecting the privacy of all Abra users. We will never sell or give away any user data unless required to do so by local laws, which generally means via a subpoena or a warrant. Even then, we will fight overly broad and unnecessary government information requests. We do sometimes provide summary data in abstract form to our investors or industry analysts, but we never use user-specific information. The bottom line is that we believe that your data is simply your data. We're not a social network. It's no one else's data. Cryptocurrency is supposed to liberate us from the shackles of traditional systems. We intend to help realize that vision to everyone's benefit. Okay. I would be thrilled to answer any questions you have about any of this. Like I said, this is policy. Everybody at Abra is aware of this. We have a set of values. We actually publish our values on our website, abra.com. If you go to the company page, you'll actually see the values, how we think about transparency, how we think about freedom. And these are fundamental kind of core tenets of who we are as a company at Abra. All right. So let's get into Bitcoin. It's been an unbelievable month. All right. So let's see. So right now, this was as of a few minutes ago, we were at about 18,700. I think when I showed you this chart last week, we were about 17,100, maybe even less, maybe 16,000 something. So we're up well over 50% just in the last 30 days. Okay. Now, as I keep reminding everyone, nothing goes straight up, nothing goes straight down. Expect sharp pullbacks. I'm in this for the long term, right? I ride the pullbacks, I ride the waves up. I have no intention of selling anytime soon. Let's look at a real-time chart just really quick. Again, we're not swing traders here, but it's always fun just to look and see what's going on because it might tell us what's going to happen in the short term for those of you who do want to trade in and out. And maybe you have some questions about the altcoin market as well. So let me bring up our chart. My eyes aren't great. It says we are at 18,614, so pretty close to the chart I just had up a minute ago. So yeah, I mean, this looks, it's in trading terms a thing of beauty. Why is that? Well, let's start at the bottom left. We have a move up. We have this flat line, which we call the consolidation period, which usually means the trend is going to continue. We have a move up. We have consolidation. We have move up. We have an even sharper move up. We have a good, this is a healthy pullback because we didn't make a lower low on the pullback. Hopefully you can see my mouse pointer when I'm talking about all this, but we have another consolidation, move up, consolidation, move up, consolidation. Look, as somebody who is a trader, I can tell you it doesn't get more beautiful than this. And if I was to zoom out and show you the dailies and the 4 hours, which I've written about in the past, and I'm not going to go over again today, this is the best trading pattern I have seen in my career. Now, you may say, well, there's stocks that are outperforming Bitcoin. Tesla is up way more than Bitcoin this year on a percentage basis. But we're dependent upon a team of people to execute at Tesla. And by the way, they have executed flawlessly. But Bitcoin is not dependent upon people to go up. It's dependent upon basically fundamentals about how many Bitcoin there are, how many investors want to buy it, and what's the supply and demand. It's much simpler. Okay? There's no basic finance going on with Bitcoin versus what's going on inside of Tesla. Okay, so while I'm a huge fan and own Tesla shares, I'm way more bullish on Bitcoin because it doesn't. We don't have to worry about a team executing for Bitcoin to grow. Okay, so that is fantastic. All right, so that's Bitcoin, and then so you may have also noticed, hopefully you did by now, that we have a brand new app design at Abra. Let me show it to you here, right? So hopefully you can still see. Great. So this is our new app design. It's fantastic. I'm going to bring up the demo app in a few minutes once I get into your questions. You'll see that there's a new what we call service tray at the bottom. These represent the services that Abra provides. You'll see there's the trading service, and there's the earn service, which is the Abra interest account. And in the future, you'll see other buttons, which is the beautiful, my favorite part of this new design is that we have lots of space down here to bring you really cool new services. And of course, I'm sure you're all going to let us know what those services should be. But I can tell you, we've already got some plans for them, and stay tuned. All right. So you'll see that the trading service is in the Abra purple. And the earn service is in green because you're earning money, and we decided to go with green since that's the kind of color that everybody associates with cash. So you're earning money, interest on your Bitcoin, your USD, whatever the case may be. Okay, so let me go to some questions before I get into a demo. So I do have a couple of questions on the what makes Abra great. So let me talk about that for a second first, and then I'll go to some questions on the app itself. Louisa asks, does Abra have the legal support to trust fiat or licenses to guarantee that our money will be safe? So Louisa, the bottom line is that we work, as I mentioned earlier, we work with regulated financial institutions, both for our trading services where we manage fiat, which gets converted to stablecoins, as well as Prime Trust, which is our partner on the banking side for the Abra interest account. And we convert and manage those fiat funds as stablecoins. So whenever you wire money to Abra, it's via a financial institution, right, that's regulated. If you're in, for example, Asia or Philippines, for example, and you come in via bank or cash, there's a partner there. If you are in Central America, an example, and use one of our cash networks there, you're coming in via a regulated partner there. So there's always some trusted partner in the middle that's helping us guarantee that your funds are staying safe along the way. All right. J-Dog asks, how does the Abra app differ from the Nano Ledger in regards to having a seed phrase, etc.? Is it as secure? Love Abra. J-Dog, we love Abra. We love you. Thanks for the cool comment and the smart question. So Abra is not a hardware wallet. A Nano Ledger is a hardware wallet, right? A Nano Ledger is a little tiny USB device or maybe a Bluetooth device that you can carry with you, put in a safe, and no one can touch the private key on there except you because you physically are holding it in your hands, all right? Abra is an online custodied service where we manage via our partners the custody of your crypto for you, so you don't have to worry about the complexity of doing that. Plus, you can earn interest on your crypto in the Abra interest account, which of course you can't do when your private key is sitting on a hardware wallet. All right. Now we maintain vociferous security policies on both the interest accounts as well as the trading accounts. There's never been a hack. Our other crypto is left in cold storage when it's not being used, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm very comfortable that, first of all, I use exclusively Abra for my own crypto needs. I don't do anything else. I used to use a hardware wallet. Now I'm 100% in on Abra, and I would never think of doing anything else. Okay. Arson asks, does Abra have insurance the same way that U.S. banks, for example, have FDIC protection? So let me explain the nuances here. So when you're moving money from your bank into Abra, while the funds are in transit, you get FDIC protection via the banks that you're transferring into. And we partner with Prime Trust for moving money via wire. We partner with a company called Synapse. We partner with Simplex on the credit card side. So these companies provide FDIC protections where appropriate for moving the money in and out. Once the funds are in crypto, they're in crypto, whether it's a stable coin like Trust Token or Tether or USDC or DAI or Bitcoin or Ethereum, okay? And at that point, there's no explicit insurance policy because you're taking principal risk on those funds. And in the case of stable coins, the funds that are in the bank with the company that created the stable coin, so for example, Trust Token, USDC, which I believe is, I forget the name right now, but another crypto company, those funds are managed by regulated banks and you get reasonable insurance protections from them for the backing of the dollars that represent those stable coins. I hope that makes sense. All right, but that's separate from Abra. All right. So Warley says, I am imagining the bottom service tray to include staking, crypto cards, support for NFTs, and adapt browser. The future is really bright. Warley, those are some fantastic ideas. I'd love to be able to respond to them, but you'll respect that unfortunately I can't say anything specific right now, but I'm taking notes on your ideas, so please keep them coming. Let's see. Before I get into some demos, let me see if there's any other non-app specific questions. Do you have partners here in the Philippines? Yes, we do have partners in the Philippines. As a matter of fact, we have several partners in the Philippines. You can deposit via 7-Eleven. You can deposit via Tambuting. We have the ability to withdraw to bank accounts. And we have a team on the ground there that manages our partnerships, manages onboarding. And our business in Southeast Asia is booming thanks to all of you. We're really, really grateful that you have chosen Abra as your favorite crypto app throughout the region. And we're fully committed to growing Abra in the region. We want to bring you more options for getting money in, more options for getting money out, more investment options, et cetera, et cetera. So anything you want to see that you don't see in the app today, please tell us and we will work on it for you. Okay, and yes, USDC is Circle. Thank you, whoever reminded me of that. One of my favorite stable coins, because I am a big fan of the company Circle that built the USDC coin. All right. Richard asks, as we enter the crypto bull run, sorry, I'm looking down, I have to read here. Can altcoins outperform Bitcoin in terms of market cap? Well, okay, those are two different things, right? Market cap and outperform, right? So outperform could just mean percentage increase in price at any given time. Market cap is a whole other ballgame. Right now, there's this kind of dominance factor where we look at the overall percentage of the crypto market cap in terms of Bitcoin, and it's been growing. The DeFi tokens have been on a tear the last week, but still Bitcoin's dominance has been growing. So it's unlikely that that's going to change anytime soon, especially since institutional money is moving to Bitcoin. It's not moving to DeFi tokens or altcoins or any of those type of products. Now, as I've said in the past, I also trade altcoins. I don't hold altcoins for the most part for the long term. I come in and out on occasion, right? I do enjoy trading that. I kind of consider that more like gambling and a little less like investing. When I hold Bitcoin, when I hold a little bit of Ethereum, when I put cash in the interest account, that's investing for me. That's my kind of macro perspective on where the markets are going and how I want to grow my wealth. When I'm investing in a bunch of altcoins, I'm coming in and out daily, weekly, monthly. I trust and I accept the fact that it's speculation and I can literally lose all of that money quickly, okay? And that's the difference. And I keep saying it over and over again, and I keep seeing people put a huge percentage of their net worth into altcoins, and I would strongly encourage you to reconsider that approach to investing, okay? I don't tell people what to do. If you're comfortable doing that with your own money, that's fine, but again, just be smart, all right? Okay, so, and also recognize, Bitcoin has a certain network effect to it now. And as I mentioned before, I was looking at videos from Bloomberg and CNBC yesterday. There are really prominent institutional investors going on TV and talking up how amazing Bitcoin is as an investment opportunity right now. That's unbelievable. This is very different from the bull run in 2017, 2018, when it was retail apps like Abra. I was on CNBC talking about how great that is. Now, I'm actually happy that it's not me doing it, because if it's institutional money, that means it's way more money than the money that you and I would be investing, because they're investing hundreds of millions and billions at a time. That's amazing. That's going to help all of us. That's what we want to see, right? And at the same time, retail investor sentiment is much lower today than it was at the peak of retail interest in crypto in 2018. That's really exciting to me, because that means that a lot of people have not woken up to the opportunity. And as they wake up, the price is going to keep going up, in my opinion. Again, and I don't have a crystal ball, but that's the idea. Okay, so Philip asks, I just saw this question come in. I have some doubts about the Bitcoin interest account. Do I keep my private key when putting my Bitcoin there? Okay, so let me be clear about what the private key in Abra does to address Philip's question. So the private key is what gives you access to the account. It is not the Bitcoin itself. Okay, we use the private key a little bit differently at Abra. All right, so you're giving Abra custody of your Bitcoin in order to invest in the Abra interest account. Just to be clear, all right? That's what I do with 100% of my Bitcoin, and I'm fully committed to that. We have people who've deposited $20 in the Abra interest account. We have people who have invested over $1 million in the Abra interest account. And so we can take any amount, and we're extremely conservative and cautious with how we invest that crypto, but you are investing that crypto in an interest earning product. And my favorite push messages on my iPhone every week are the ones I get on Monday morning. They arrive 8 a.m. Pacific time. For some of you, it's obviously already maybe Tuesday. But every Monday I get a whole bunch of push messages from the Abra app that I've got interest in on my Bitcoin account, in my Ether account, in my TrueUSD account, in my Tether account, et cetera, et cetera. I love those text messages or push messages. Okay, so I think we have some app-specific questions. And let me see here. Let me show you. Okay, so let me address these questions first. Actually, wait a minute. Before we get to that, we have our contest winner. And so I want to get to this. As you know, we've been running an online contest. And then basically people are asking really cool questions. And this week's winner is Devin. Devn is I believe it's a he. I apologize. And Hamsterdine. I think maybe he has a hamster named Dean, but I'm not sure. And congratulations, you are our weekly winner. And his comment/question was: many altcoins have left the POW, proof of work, initiated by Bitcoin for energy consumption reasons. I'm not sure I agree with the premise of that comment, which is against the Bitcoin vision. I think they've left the proof of work for scalability reasons than they have for energy consumption reasons. I think the energy consumption issue is a bit of a myth, which given the amount of renewable energy being used to mine Bitcoin, I'm not sure I agree with that statement. But anyway, that's fine. Do I think this will have a negative impact on the crypto ideology, or will it even show that there are new ideas developing in the industry? That part is a fantastic question. All right, I love that question. What impact will proof of stake, for example, which is kind of the anterior to proof of work, have on this, the growth and the future of crypto? All right, this is really important. I think we're going to see kind of a bifurcation in the cryptocurrency world between gold, right, and applications, right? And by gold, I mean Bitcoin as a store of value, as a wealth creation tool, which is better than fiat, and internet-based decentralized applications, which are today mostly driven by Ethereum, right? Now, a lot of and these are my good friends in the Bitcoin world who are maximalists, don't like and don't believe in this decentralized app thing. I don't agree with that. I actually think it's huge, all right? And if you use stablecoins today, you're supporting that thesis. Stablecoins are simply decentralized apps running on Ethereum for the most part, and some other blockchains too. And DAI, for example, doesn't even have dollars in a bank. DAI just uses other cryptocurrencies to collateralize the DAI stablecoin you're using. So that's a pure decentralized app. All right. So I think what's going to happen is that proof of stake has the promise to enable these decentralized applications to scale. I don't think proof of stake right now is a good solution for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not concerned with scalability, at least not in the sense of a decentralized app. Bitcoin is concerned with security, safety, and soundness. And it probably should be, given where it is in the mindset of the people that are adopting it. Right? It has certainly evolved, and I would say outright changed from the original Satoshi white paper, where he talked about P2P and e-money and digital cash. But there's Litecoin and there's Bitcoin Cash. I use Bitcoin Cash on occasion because I don't care about the value of Bitcoin Cash. If I want to send money to somebody, sometimes I use Bitcoin Cash because I know they're going to sell it right away. So I don't care if the value goes up or down. It's just a way for us to send money quickly and have a coin that we can use to do it. So not every coin's purpose is to go up in value. Some actually have a benefit in terms of the kind of transactions or use cases they provide, which are not just about wealth creation. And that's important. I've talked about technology competition in almost every single episode. And it's the technology competition in crypto that's going to move the whole space forward beyond just the store of value of Bitcoin, which obviously is important. It's part of why we're all here. But the space is more important than that. And that leads to another question that Richard here is asking in terms of what is Abra doing to spread the benefits of crypto to the unbanked? And this is why I started Abra originally. Okay, I was doing work in Mexico, Haiti, throughout the Caribbean, Central America, Philippines, and I met people all over the world who were disenfranchised by the banking system because they couldn't afford a bank account, they couldn't afford a loan, they were spending 15-20% of their income to send money, pay interest on payday loans, all kinds of nonsense. And I think it's absolutely huge what the crypto industry can do for the unbanked. Not just Bitcoin, and maybe not even Bitcoin in the short term, right? But all of the cryptocurrency market. I think stable coins are going to be used for remittances eventually. I think stable coins will be used for settling card transactions, which will lower the cost of card transactions because there will be fewer banks involved in those transactions. I think that people will eventually have crypto wallets that the governments will directly deposit support payments into. Right, so I know we have people online from Mexico. There's the Oportunidades program in Mexico where people receive welfare payments from the government. They receive those payments on debit cards now, and they're dependent upon banks to distribute that. It's a nightmare because people in rural areas don't have ATM machines and they need cash. This can solve that problem by bypassing the banks altogether. So I've spent a lot of time thinking about this. I think that over time, crypto is going to have a huge role to play. We have a lot of users at Abra today that don't have bank accounts. They deposit via cash and they withdraw via cash in their home country in Central America or Southeast Asia or now in the Middle East. And we love that, right? Because Abra is meant to be liberating for everyone. I love the idea that we have a single app that has users depositing $1 million and users depositing $5. I've never seen that before. It's fantastic. Okay? All right. Let's see. So many questions. I apologize. I've been on my kind of weekly rant about the future, and we haven't done much in the way of demos yet. So let's see. Let me get into the new app. So I've got my trusty phone. I've got my demo right on. All right. So this is, let me get out of it for a second so you can see I've got the new version of iOS here running on my demo phone. I'm going to bring up the Abra app so you can see it start. And voila, it comes up with this really pretty cool new slick interface. The redesign was done for a bunch of reasons. One, the old design was getting a little unwieldy because we were adding so many features and we wanted to simplify the experience. So now all of the services, as I mentioned, are at the bottom, but the portfolio list is the same as it was before. I can press the add button in the upper right and I can manage my portfolio of coins. I can add or remove any coins I want from my watch list. Super cool. I see here my trading balance now, and from there I can click on exchange right at the top. So at the top, these are all of the functions that I can do within the trading app itself. Okay, and when I go to the interest earning account, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of features and functions that I have from the interest earning account itself. All right. And so now if I want to do an exchange between any two currencies, at the top, you see the exchange function. So I click on exchange, right? You see it highlighted there. I'm going to exchange, let's say $10 from TrueUSD. I'm going to click on that. And now I'm going to click on Bitcoin. So I want to buy $10 worth of Bitcoin. So I type in 10. Now this interface should be very familiar to you because it's the same interface you had before. I click on review and voila. And I can see the confirmation screen. And I can click on confirm, and I've bought $10 worth of Bitcoin. I'm going to back out of that for now, so in case I want to do another demo later. All right. So I can, from here, I can add money. I can add money via my bank account by clicking add money, right? I can use bank via ACH in the US or bank wire. Globally, I can deposit crypto. If I click on deposit crypto, I can literally deposit from any one of these coins outside of Abra. And I can also use my debit card. As I mentioned, if you go to abra.com, we've got the new Abra marketplace, which supports payment methods from all over the world. And we'll be integrating those payment methods directly into the app soon enough, which we'll have more to say about later. Okay, so now I'm back to the home screen. You remember we have awesome price alerts. So in the upper right there, you see price alerts. And I can set alerts here. And I'll get push messages to my app. If I forget what's going on, you see the question mark in the upper right there underneath add. If I press that question mark, it brings up a help screen, which basically gives me all kinds of help on any topic related to using the Abra app that I can think of. It's been really well thought through and designed, and we update it almost every day. Okay, now I'm going to click on the earn button in the lower right. All right. And you see here our test wallet. So I've got a balance here. I've got my Bitcoin. Now what's new is I can actually easily withdraw back to my trading account. See in the upper right, the withdraw button. So if I click on that, I can choose which crypto I want to withdraw from. If I click on add money, now what this does is it adds money into my trading account so that I can quickly move it over to my interest earning account. So now I can do that directly from the interest earning screen, where before I had to go back to the trading screen. Super cool. And of course, if I want to quickly add money from trading into interest earning, I press transfer and I choose which balance I want to move money into. So I'm going to, let's say, move Bitcoin from my trading account into my Abra interest account. I just type in the amount, right? I press review and I press confirm. Okay, so again, I'm going to back out of that in case I want to do another demo. So much simpler, really easy to use interface. All right. All right. So follow-up question here from Philip on the interest account. I really want to put Bitcoin in an interest account, but what are the guarantees? So Philip, what I can guarantee you is Abra is taking great care of your cryptocurrency. You are taking principal risk with that investment. We've never lost a penny of consumers' money in the interest accounts, but I would be crazy to give you a blanket guarantee. That would not be realistic. But I can tell you that I have all of my personal cryptocurrency in there. A lot of my team has their personal cryptocurrency. Most of my team has their personal crypto in there. Some of our investors who are very wealthy have their personal crypto in the Abra interest account. And we have investors with 7 figures of Bitcoin and dollars in those accounts. And so, start small if you're unsure and add more over time. But it's certainly how I am choosing to manage my crypto going forward. And we actually designed the service with ourselves in mind. We said, how would we like to manage our own cryptocurrency? Wouldn't it be great if we could hold it and earn interest at the same time? Okay. By the way, Baby Driver asked, related to the other question before, where did I get the name Abra from for the cryptocurrency wallet? So this was actually related to the unbanked question. When we were naming the company, we were thinking a lot about the applications of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency to serve a global banking community. And we loved the idea of a very simple one-syllable name that not only worked in a lot of languages, but could represent an interesting acronym. So ABRA, a better remittance app. And so for those of you who are in maybe Mexico, Philippines, live in the East Coast, New York or LA or West Coast, LA, Miami, you're familiar with the remittance market because so many migrant workers in your communities are sending money back home. And we think that ultimately crypto is going to have a big role to play there. Anyway, that's how we came up with the name for Abra, and that was many, many years ago. Okay, so lots more questions coming. We'll do some more demos here. Let's see. So Joseph asks, is there a risk in depositing in the interest account? Can you lose your crypto holding in the account? So the funds there are secure insofar that Abra is managing custody of those funds. But this is an investment account, right? Now, the investments are generally collateralized in crypto, meaning whoever's borrowing is often depositing other collateral that we use if they don't make their payments. But nobody has ever defaulted on a loan at Abra. So, and because we have the collateral, it's generally relatively safe. And oftentimes, the balance sheet of the company who's borrowing those funds is huge, much bigger than ours even. And so that really lowers the risk profile here tremendously. So that's what's made me comfortable, because I personally get to see all of these counterparties as part of our investment committee. And that's made me very comfortable in order to be able to promote this to all of you as a viable way for managing your crypto and growing your crypto and stablecoin deposits and cash deposits over time. Okay. Let's see. Thank you. Great questions as always. Somebody asks here, Noy asks, there's been a lot of debate regarding the classification of cryptos and for regulatory purposes. Are they currencies? Are they investments? Are they commodities? So the answer is they can be all of those. It depends upon the very specific cryptocurrency. So stablecoins are generally considered just currency for the most part. They don't fluctuate versus the dollar. Whereas Bitcoin and Ethereum are generally considered commodities. most altcoins would likely come into the commodity buckets. Some may actually be securities, depending upon how they were created, right? And so you have to be cognizant of the differences if you're dealing with things like taxes and whatnot. Abra doesn't deal in securities via the app. We only deal with currencies and commodities. So that makes things much simpler. Yeah, let's see. Arconomics says, would love to see borrowing fiat with cryptocurrencies as collateral for short-term liquidity. So if the price is going up, for example, you'd be able to borrow dollars or pesos or whatever to be able to pay bills or make other investments or maybe down payment on a house. We love that idea, so can't say too much right now, but stay tuned. So that's a great one. Let's see, we've got some more questions here. Keep them coming. Let's see, we talked about the unbanked. Crypto Watch asks, are you planning to do a desktop version of Abra? And that would actually come via abra.com. So we've already started this with the new Abra crypto marketplace. If you go to abra.com, you can use payment methods from all over the world to buy crypto and deposit into your Abra app. That's the first step into us bringing the entire Abra app experience onto the web. And that's something that we are committed to doing over time, but we want to do it right. We want to do it in a way that really works for you. And so it may take a little longer, but I promise you when we do it and how we do it will be the best way possible for our users and not just a quick and dirty kind of implementation. Are the users completely anonymous to anyone who does not know their wallet address? So CryptoWatch, in theory, yes. If you don't know somebody's private key, in theory, that user is anonymous to you. Now, in Bitcoin, we refer to this as pseudonymous because you can actually see the IP address of where crypto is coming from and to. And this makes it somewhat traceable depending upon your capabilities and how motivated you might be. All right. So I think you can safely assume that regulators are able to trace Bitcoin transactions if they're motivated. Now, there's other technologies like Zcash and Monero that are much, much harder to trace because of the nature of how they publish transactions when you move money from person to person. And that's beyond the scope of Money Talks, except to say that those wallets are being used more and more, not just within Abra, but other places for people who are concerned about their personal privacy. And I think privacy is a right. This is not about nefarious transactions. We don't promote that at Abra, but you have a right to privacy. And we think, and we're encouraged by the fact that encryption and cryptocurrencies, I think, are consistent with those rights. All right. I think there was one more question in here. Okay. Could I cover the traceability of transactions in the Bitcoin network? So CryptoWatch, I think I more or less covered that, but I think you should assume that unless you really know what you're doing, crypto transactions are traceable, right? You can run Tor, you can recycle different keys, but unless you really know how to do that stuff, you should assume that for the most part, governments can watch what you're doing. And I don't like that, but Bitcoin is just technology. It's just software at the end of the day. And if there's something that you want to use that's more secure for your transactions, then just go use it. Like I said, maybe Monero or Zcash, or maybe, sometimes I use Tor when I want to make sure there's no prying eyes if I'm using my bank accounts, for example, whatnot. Arson asks, is Abra planning on going public or opening up to investors? So we're not going public anytime soon. I can't say that we wouldn't open up to investors, maybe via an AngelList or Bank to the Future in the future, but we have no plans for that right now. And we really love the feedback. We appreciate the love, and we would love to figure out a way to let all of you benefit from Abra's growth in the future, but we have no plans and no even concepts for that right now. Another question from, let's see, Joseph asks, will Abra be sending out an interest tax form that we need to claim on our taxes? Yes, we will. And so you will receive, because we're a U.S. company, a 1099 form for the Abra interest account. And then for the trading account, let me go back to trade here in the app. If you click on the person at the top, the little Abra logo, look at my shirt, you see at the top there's export transaction history. This will create a CSV file that you can send to your email, which includes all of your transactions to be able to generate your tax report for any trading profits that you might have. Okay, so I hope that helps there. Yeah, and then Dave asks, what's the proper way to treat the interest payments for taxes in the U.S.? As I said, you're going to get a 1099 with any interest earned there, and you'll be able to deal with that. Warley asks, this is a good question, so let me talk about this for a moment. Bill, there are many users who recently lost their funds with Cred, which recently filed for Chapter 11. Chapter 11, for those of you outside the U.S., is a legal term in the U.S. for filing for bankruptcy. Can you discuss its effect in the CFI or centralized finance market? Thank you. Warley, thank you for that question. I meant to cover that earlier. So yes, Cred is another company in the crypto lending space. They are no more. They filed for bankruptcy. All of the user funds are locked up while they're in bankruptcy. We've dug into what they've done, how this happened. They were doing some really dumb things in terms of like making loans to counterparties, for example, in China and other places without really doing either due diligence or having collateral or even understanding the risks that they were taking apparently. And they were doing this for a very long time, going back, early this year, without actually telling people they were doing it. So we don't do that at Abra. We run an investment committee that does due diligence, just like a venture capitalist would on every counterparty. We take collateral based upon the request and the credit that we extend. So if we're working with a massive investment bank that has a huge balance sheet and they're doing a small loan, there may not be collateral. But if it's a small counterparty, we may require 100% collateral. Okay, and so we're very smart about how we manage that in a way where we want to make sure that, and we also basically, as I said earlier, we maintain reserves. So 95% of you, if you asked for a withdrawal today, your withdrawal would be processed, certainly same day, probably in a few hours. For very, very large, like let's say $1 million withdrawals, that might take a couple of days. So while we say 7 days to access your funds in our terms of service, by and large, for the most part, most of you are getting access same day, except maybe on weekends, maybe Monday if you do it over the weekend. Okay, so and even then, sometimes we are able to process over the weekends. So I am very comfortable that Abra has taken a reasonably conservative tact to run our business. I think that you asked about the effect of Cred on the broader CFI markets. My opinion is that this is a wake-up call. Consumers are starting to understand that there's no free lunch here. Abra does a tremendous amount of work to manage these interest accounts. Right? This interest does not earn itself. Right? We have a team of people dedicated to doing this in a legitimate, conservative, above board way that really is meant to first and foremost protect our shared principal, because my money's in here just like yours. Okay, and I have no interest in losing my money. I want to grow my crypto and grow my dollars. I don't want to put them at any significant risk at all, and I wouldn't do it if I thought that I was. Right? I do think that this is a wake-up call for the CFI space, and there's going to be more regulators watching, and that's a good thing for you. The more questions that the space has to answer, the more they're going to be paying attention to their practices, and this nonsense that Cred was doing won't happen again. All right? And then honestly, I mean, for us, it's good because people now see that companies with strong management teams, that's why I talked about our financial backers earlier. Right? American Express put a lot of money into Abra. Foxconn, the company that manufactures the iPhone, put a lot of money into Abra. Arbor Ventures, which is Abby Johnson and Fidelity Money and other investors like that, they put a lot of money into Abra. Why are they doing this? Well, they see that the management team is real. They see that these are people who know what they're doing. Right? When they put their own money into Abra, which many of them have, they know that we know how to manage those funds. Right? We take this as seriously as if it was our own money because it is our own money. And I think that's the most important point here. If you ever hear that, we're taking our money out of Abra, then you should be asking a lot of questions. But none of us are doing that. All right. So let's see. How are we doing on time? Oh, wow. I can't believe it's 9:50 already. This hour flies by every week. One of my favorite hours of the week. Let's see some more speculation here on what's going to happen at the bottom of the screen. I'm not going to respond to that right now. By the way, I want to do a shout out before I answer the last couple of questions. We have support staff on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, monitoring the live streams to answer questions in real time. They're not showing me all those questions because they're able to answer them. If you have a user-specific question specific to your account and we aren't able to get to it live here, I see a few of them, please send a follow-up email to support@abra.com and we will address that. Louisa asks, is there a way to include a beneficiary in the Abra account? Louisa, that's something that I want that we don't provide today. What I would recommend to you is that you, if you have a lawyer and you have a will, that you do something with your backup phrase under lock and key inside an envelope, inside an envelope, inside an envelope, inside an envelope that can be delivered to a beneficiary. Be very careful with that. Whoever has that private key has your money. And in the future, we would very much like to provide a beneficiary service. This is something that I want as well for my own family. And I've basically set up a system so that certain people can access my private keys if, God forbid, something should happen to me. Obviously, we want to make it relatively easy for my beneficiaries to access that crypto. So we will work on that in the future. I can promise you that. That's an important, good piece of feedback. Beneficiary, for those who don't understand the term, means if something were to happen to Louisa, God forbid, then Louisa would say, I want my crypto to go to my spouse or my partner or my children. Then they would be able to identify themselves and we would be able to make the crypto available to them upon receiving proof that the account owner was deceased in this case. All right, so I think we have time for one more question. By the way, so part of the reason for this being the last one is next week is the Thanksgiving holiday in the US. So that's a week from yesterday, next Thursday. So this will be the last show this season. We will produce other videos and publish them on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, et cetera, but this will be the last live show unless something dramatic happens and we decide to break our rule. But we do have a few more questions here. Let me pick one more at random here. Let's find a good one. Let's see. I want to pick a really good one. Let's see. What can I pick? All right. So are there any limits on wiring funds into the Abra app? So good question. No, there are no limits. So if you want to add money, there are two ways to do it via your bank account, right? If you're in the US, you can click on add money and I'll click on add money here in my app and you see ACH, bank wire, crypto deposit. If I want to do a small amount, like less than $10,000, I'm better off doing bank ACH because it's faster, but it does have one issue, which I'll come back to in a moment. And then if I want to do larger amounts, I should click on bank wire transfer and click on deposit wire. And these are my specific wire instructions. By the way, if you copy and paste the screen and you wire money to it, the money's going to come to me. So don't do that. You should set up your own wire account unless you want to give money to me or my demo app here. But this is unlimited deposit volume. So if you want to put $1 million in via bank wire that way, no problem. If you want to do large deposits via cash and convert them via crypto, we can help you with that. Okay, you need to send an email to support@abra.com. Tell them that you're doing a large deposit, and our OTC function will contact you and will help you get going with that as well, so that you can do large purchases of Bitcoin, for example, via bank wire. So if you're not aware of that, you can do pretty much unlimited. If you want to put 10 million in and buy Bitcoin, totally fine. We can help you with that. Then you'll need to send us an email after you do the deposit, and we'll help you get it converted. Okay, so no limits there. We're now testing international wires, which I'm excited to say. I've been talking to you about this for a few months. It's finally happening, so that's good. And all of you will see international wires. Plus, you'll all be able to use the marketplace if you are in countries like India or in the UK via FasterPay or in Germany via SEPA. Just go to the marketplace, choose SEPA wire from Germany or France, or choose FasterPay from the UK, or choose whatever the RBI-based payment method is in India, and you can buy crypto that way, directly via the app, and have it deposited directly into the Abra app. All you do is go to add money, choose deposit crypto, and then copy the address of the Bitcoin wallet that you want to deposit or buy into from here, right? Click I agree. You copy this, you paste it into the marketplace, and anything you buy automatically goes into your Abra app. It's so cool, all right? And that business has been really growing quickly for us. All right, I'm getting flagged by my team here that we need to be done. All right, so a couple of things. One, to my American friends and colleagues, I've gotten to know many of you online. Thank you for your support. Have a great Thanksgiving holiday. To everyone, I know that it's tough, that this COVID thing is just getting out of hand again. Please stay safe. Do what you have to do to protect your family. And, it's a fun time in crypto. So it's a good escape. I spend a lot of time reading about where crypto is going. We have great online articles. Go to abra.com. If you go to the bottom, there's all kinds of articles about Bitcoin, about altcoins. It's fantastic. The best beginner resource on the web for crypto is on abra.com. All right. And use it. We spend a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of sweat and tears to simplify it, to make it easy for you to use. I'll show you, as a matter of fact, maybe while I'm talking here, I'll bring that up one last time and show you that. So I'll come to our browser here. This is abra.com. And if I scroll down to the bottom here, right, I just scroll down, I can see all about the Abra app, right? But at the bottom of the page down here, right, I have all of these links, investing in crypto, investing in Bitcoin, how to fund my Abra wallet. There's a whole course, an introductory course on cryptocurrencies. There's links to the audio version. So if you don't, by the way, if you're sick of looking at me, you can actually just go to Spotify and you can listen to the audio versions of all of the Money Talk shows, as well as other interviews that we've done. We have fantastic content that we've been producing for the better part of a couple of years now. Please take advantage of it. All right. So in the meantime, have a fantastic set of holidays. If you celebrate any of the upcoming holidays, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, whatever is your favorite holiday, please enjoy it. Hopefully in a small group. Stay safe. We'll be publishing more videos. I'll be back on Twitter, talking constantly about where we're going. In the meantime, go crypto, go Abra. Where are we right now? We are at 18,700. So we're looking good. So again, take care. Thank you for a great year of support for Money Talks. We look forward to bringing more of these videos to you in the future. In the meantime, we'll see you online, and take care, everyone. All right. Bye-bye.